Hey, good Monday morning, everybody. Yeah, it's me, making my way up to the man cave this morning and hoping I don't fall and kill myself. You're probably expecting to see a brand new Monday morning moment. Remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about how life was all about choices? Well, you know what? The argument can also be made that life is about expectations. This is your Monday morning moment. Let's get rolling. Hey, good morning, everybody. And I bet you were expecting me to be in the man cave this morning. Well, actually, I'm back here on the back patio because we are not on location at our usual spot. We're actually out of town today. So that's why we're here. Isn't it beautiful, though? All right, expectations. You know, the first thing I want to talk about is Caddyshack. You remember that movie? And in particular, there's one scene that just I love forever. And it's where Judge Smales and his grandson Spalding have been playing golf with a bunch of other people, and they're coming off the 9th green, and they're at the 10th tee snack bar. And Spalding's going, I want a hamburger. Nah, I want a cheeseburger. I want a milkshake. I want a hot dog. I want potato chips. And the judge, who's not had a good first round, whips him around and goes, you'll have nothing and like it. Isn't that a great scene? One of the best ever. And, you know, it's all about expectations. Spalding had his, the judge had his. Have you ever stopped really to consider how expectations shape your life? Yeah, and you know what? To me, it's such an important topic. This is like the third version of this video I've actually filmed because I actually made some notes this morning that just came to me. I thought they were important. We needed to add on. So bear with me as I refer to some of these because I've just kind of like written them down. The first thing I want to do is dedicate this morning's Monday morning video to all of you young folks, and there seem to be a ton of you, which is a great thing, that in this next year are going to start a life together. You know who I'm talking about, all you engaged folks. And you know what? This topic is hugely important to you guys because I was in your spot at one time, and you know, expectations got the best of me. We'll just leave that right there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you actually 3 gold nuggets today that are just absolute gold. And then I got 3 really good suggestions for you guys, everybody, to take with you. So stick with me until the end of the video because that's when I'm going to give most of them to you. And just, well, you'll see when we get there. Okay, let me ask you this. What were your expectations this morning when you got up for the day? How about for the week? Did you consciously think of them, or are they just kind of like there? Yeah, we don't really think very consciously about our expectations, do we? So my question is, what are the source of those expectations? What is the intent behind those expectations? Well, here's the bottom line. I think you know where I'm going to go with this. There are expectations that are of this world. Then there are God's expectations for us. Basically, just like that. And it shouldn't come as any surprise to you guys to know that the Bible, of course, the owner's manual of life, has countless references to expectations, both good and bad. Yeah, as always. All right, so I'm going to give you your first gold nugget, Bible verse. This is the good. Excuse me, this is the bad. And it comes from Proverbs 10:28. Oh gosh, there's Proverbs again. What a great book. Okay, listen to this. The prospect of the righteous. Now, righteous are good people, of course. The prospect of the righteous is joy. But the hopes of the wicked come to nothing. Well, there in a nutshell, it says it all. There's countless other references. But, you know, if you're a good person, if you're doing things in accordance with God's will and plan, then you can expect good things. But if your intent is bad, don't think so. Okay, so I'm going to give you now a good one. This is one of God's expectations. And I picked this one, and there's tons of them. But I picked this one because it's in line with some of the things we've talked about in the past about finding your spiritual gifts. You remember that? All right, well, listen to this. This comes from 1 Peter 4:10. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. And again, there are countless other references to good expectations that are of God. Okay, so let me turn my little page of notes. So here's what I can share with you. and I've experienced this, which is why I want to share it with you. Expectations based on human assumptions are going to cause trouble. And we've all been there, or we will all be there at some point. Anytime our expectations are not met, we look to something or someone to blame, don't we? Even if our expectations are unreasonable. Yikes. So what do you do? How do you fix this? How do you address this? All right, I got 3 strategies for you. Here we go. You ready? The first should come as no surprise, and it's communicate. Should I repeat that? Communicate. Openness and honesty. And for you young guys, I know that's tough because you lived your whole life as a single person with your own expectations. Now you have to share expectations with a future spouse or current spouse. Openness and honesty. Never base your expectations on mere assumptions. And we know what assumptions do, don't we? You need to talk about what your expectations are with each other. Talk. Okay, this leads to, number 1 is communication. This leads to number 2, forgiveness. And here's what I got for you. You know, Jesus didn't meet the expectations, did he, of the Israelites as their Messiah. He didn't meet what they thought, what they expected the Messiah to be, and yet he forgave them as he was dying on the cross because their expectations were wrong. So maybe shouldn't we be a little more forgiving? And what I'm saying there is, you know, maybe you have expectations of your significant other or someone important in your life that they just can't meet. No fault of theirs, not necessarily a fault of yours for expecting things, but if you communicate and forgive the fact that maybe they can't do that, and you talk about it and work through it, good things will come. Okay, final thing. Again, should come as no surprise. Love. Okay, love is the basis for everything. It ties everything we've talked about all together. You know, we're all different. None of us are the same. And when you start expecting other people to act like you think they should, you expect them to act. You're setting yourself up for disappointment every single time. If we form expectations of our loved ones that they simply cannot live up to, it's not necessarily their fault. Be flexible, be flexible, be flexible. All right, we've only scratched the surface, friends and neighbors, of a huge topic. But expectations are the key, in my view, to successful relationships. Okay, if you take God's angle on expectations, good things are going to happen. But if your expectations come from your own assumptions or things of this world, expect disappointment. All right, I got a new gold nugget Bible verse that I found that I'm going to leave you with every week. We call this in the movie business the outro. You know, there's an intro and an outro. This is the outro, and I haven't quite memorized it yet, but I'm gonna, because it's wonderful, but I'm gonna read it to you today. It comes from 2 Thessalonians 3:16. Now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times and in every way. The Lord be with all of you. And that's what I wish for you guys this week. I want you to go out and have a great week. Learn to manage your expectations. Okay, it's never going to stop till the day you die. Okay, learn to manage them. Depend on God's word. Good things will happen. All right, thanks for everybody who's sharing. If you think these tapes and videos are going to help, please share. I'm on every social media, as you know, and there's ways to share in each one of those. So until next Monday, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I will see you then. Have a great week.